Hey everyone, welcome to English Pod, where we make learning English fun with friends. In this series, I'll break down keywords, slang, idioms, and cultural references from each episode to help you improve your English naturally. Watch before or after the episode to boost your understanding. Subscribe and turn on the notifications. Let's dive in.
Let's jump right in, shall we?
Let's do it.
We're going to start by unpacking some key vocabulary. And the first word that really stood out is vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Yeah, it's a powerful word. It means open to emotional hurt or harm.
Right.
And what's interesting is how quickly this theme is established in the episode. Like right there in the opening scene. Central perk.
Yeah, with Ross.
Exactly.
Okay.
We see Ross feeling incredibly vulnerable after his divorce. It's a core human emotion, you know.
Totally.
And the way English speakers describe it,
Yeah.
well, it can tell you a lot about how we approach difficult feelings.
Absolutely. It's not just the definition, is it? It's the feeling behind it.
Mhm.
You might say, after sharing her secret, she felt very vulnerable. It conveys that sense of being exposed and maybe a little fragile.
Yeah, exactly. Exposed is a good word for it.
It makes you think about how we all experience vulnerability in different ways, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, next up we have something a bit more tangible.
Suds.
Suds, yes, simple word, just refers to the bubbles that soap makes in water.
Right.
It pops up when Rachel and Ross are at the laundromat, in the middle of a very ordinary activity.
Doing laundry.
Doing laundry. And what's fascinating here is how even mundane chores have their own specific vocabulary.
Yeah, it highlights how detailed our language can be, even for like the everyday stuff.
Right.
You wouldn't really say foam in that context, would you?
Not really, no. Suds is the word.
The sink was full of warm water and soap suds. It just sounds right.
It does.
And speaking of the laundromat, that brings us to the next term, fluff and fold.
Fluff and fold. That's a great example of how English can be both descriptive and efficient.
How so?
Well, it refers to a laundry service where they wash, they dry, that's the fluff part, and then neatly fold your clothes for you.
Okay. Like a full service. Exactly. And in the episode, it's kind of a point of contrast, isn't it? It highlights Rachel's move towards independence because she's not using the service.
Right, she's doing her own laundry for the first time.
Yeah. And it also offers a little glimpse into, urban conveniences that might be common in some English-speaking areas.
It's like a little window into a certain lifestyle. You might hear someone say, I was swamped with work, so I just used the fluff and fold this week.
Totally. It's a practical term for a practical service.
Now, let's shift gears a bit to a word with some, interesting cultural baggage.
Macho.
Macho, yeah. It describes someone who displays strong or sometimes aggressively masculine pride.
And Rachel uses it.
She does. At the laundromat, when she expresses her desire to be more independent and resilient, like Monica, she wants to be macho.
Okay.
What's interesting about this word is its nuance. I mean, while it describes a certain type of masculine behavior, it can sometimes carry negative connotations.
Being overly aggressive.
Right, or even kind of insecure, maybe. Overcompensating. Gotcha. So you could say he tried to act all macho to impress her, and it might suggest he was overdoing it a bit.
Precisely. It's a good example of how a single word can carry layers of social meaning,
Definitely. Now, things get a little heated at the laundromat, which leads us to our next phrase, cheap shot.
Cheap shot. Oh, yeah, that's a really useful phrase. It refers to a hurtful or unfair comment.
Unfair, yeah.
Often one that takes advantage of someone's vulnerability, actually.
Okay.
In the episode, Ross uses it when he feels someone has unfairly taken Rachel's washing machine.
Right. He jumps in to defend her.
Yeah, and he calls the other woman's actions a cheap shot. It's a common way to describe someone behaving unfairly with their words or actions.
Exactly. Like bringing up a past mistake in an argument is a cheap shot.
Perfect example.
It instantly communicates that feeling of something being, well, underhanded.
It does.
And staying at the laundromat, let's talk about something you find in your dryer.
Lint.
Lint.
Yeah, one of those incredibly specific everyday words.
Just those little bits of fluff, right?
Exactly. Those small fibers that shed from fabric and collect in places like your dryer filter or, all over your dark clothes.
It happens all the time.
Right. And Rachel's encounter with lint in the episode is just a small, relatable moment. It highlights how our daily routines are filled with these tiny details that all have their own names.
It's true. You'd say, don't forget to clean the lint filter. It's a fire hazard.
You absolutely would. It's such a specific term for something so common.
Now, Rachel's reaction to someone using her washing machine, it's pretty strong. She calls it a violation.
Violation, yeah, that is a strong word.
Yeah.
Generally, it means the act of breaking a rule or a law or maybe something sacred.
So using it for a washing machine.
Might it seem a little exaggerated, maybe,
A bit.
but it really emphasizes her sense of personal boundaries being crossed, even in a seemingly mundane public space like a laundromat.
Okay, so it shows her intensity about it.
Exactly. It makes you think about how we all have our own unspoken rules and what we consider to be like a transgression.
Yeah. I mean, you hear parking in a no parking zone is a traffic violation. It shows the range of seriousness this word can convey.
Absolutely. From traffic tickets to laundromat disputes.
And what are they all using in those washing machines? Detergent, of course.
Detergent. Can't miss that one. It's the standard term for a cleaning substance used for laundry.
And it's in the title.
It's right there in the episode title, the one with the East German laundry detergent. So clearly a key piece of vocabulary in this context.
Definitely. A fundamental word for anyone dealing with laundry. Can't get clean clothes without it.
Nope.
She prefers a laundry detergent that's gentle on her skin. Just a basic part of life.
Pretty straightforward.
Now, after Rachel successfully completes her laundry task, she does a little twirl.
Ah, the twirl. To
Yeah.
twirl is a lovely active verb. It just means spin around quickly.
Right.
And Rachel's little twirl is a physical manifestation of her joy and her sense of accomplishment, right, for tackling this new challenge.
Yeah, conquering the laundry beast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a simple action that speaks volumes about her feeling of success.
It's such a visual word, isn't it? The ballerina did a graceful twirl across the stage. It conveys that light, spinning movement.
It really does. Captures that feeling.
Okay, finally, in our vocabulary deep dive, we have the word snap.
Snap. Now, this is a versatile word, but in this context, it means to suddenly lose control of your emotions.
Okay. Like losing your temper.
Yeah, or just breaking down. Joey talks about wanting to make Angela's boyfriend snap.
Right, Bob.
Yeah, it suggests a breaking point, a sudden outburst of anger or frustration. It highlights how quickly emotions can escalate.
Right. Like after weeks of being ignored, he finally snapped and confronted his boss.
Good example. It conveys that sudden loss of control.
Okay, so we've gotten a handle on some really useful vocabulary from this episode, some everyday words, some a bit more nuanced.
A good mix, I think.
Yeah. Now let's dive into some phrases and idioms that you can weave into your everyday English. These are often the trickier bits, right?
They can be, yeah, because the meaning isn't always literal.
Exactly. First up, pull yourself together.
Pull yourself together. Very common, very practical phrase. It means to regain control of your emotions.
Like, calm down.
Yeah. Calm down, compose yourself. Chandler actually mimes someone on a date, internally telling themselves this.
Oh, right. In that flashback thing?
Uh-huh. It's what you might say to someone who is feeling overwhelmed or upset, or even to yourself.
Exactly. After getting the bad news, she took a deep breath and told herself to pull herself together. It's about regaining your composure in a difficult situation.
Definitely useful one for self-talk or encouraging others.
Next, we have a really emphatic expression. To hell with her.
Ooh, yeah, to hell with her, or to hell with him. It's a very strong and informal way of expressing complete dismissal or anger towards someone.
Right, not exactly polite conversation.
No, definitely not. When Joey and Chandler say this to Ross about Carol, they're basically urging him to stop dwelling on the past and just move on, forget her. It's definitely a phrase with a lot of emotional punch, so it's good to understand its intensity before you use it.
It really is. Like, he lied to me repeatedly. To hell with him. You can really feel the anger and finality in that.
Absolutely. No ambiguity there.
Now let's move on to a phrase about taking a risk. Take the plunge.
Take the plunge. Yeah, that's a great idiom. It means to decide to do something important or risky. Often after a period of hesitation, you've been thinking about it, maybe worrying about it, and then you finally do it.
And Joey uses this.
Yeah, he uses it when encouraging Monica to advise her friend Angela to break up with her boyfriend, Bob. He wants Angela to take the plunge.
Okay. So the plunge is the breakup itself.
In that context, yes. It captures that moment of finally deciding to go ahead with something significant.
Right. After months of planning, they finally took the plunge and bought a house. It highlights that moment of commitment and overcoming fear.
Exactly. It's about commitment or overcoming a hurdle.
And what is it that Joey wants Monica's friend to do? To break up.
Break up. Yep. That's the standard and pretty essential phrasal verb for ending a romantic relationship.
Can't really talk about relationships without it.
Pretty much impossible. It's fundamental vocabulary. Joey's concern for Angela's happiness revolves around her needing to break up with Bob.
Absolutely crucial vocab. They decided to break up amicably after realizing they wanted different things. It's a common experience, and this is the go-to phrase.
Absolutely. Everyone knows break up.
Now, Ross uses a rather understated phrase when he wants to see Rachel at the laundromat. It's a laundry thing.
It's a laundry thing. Yeah, that's a wonderfully subtle example of how English speakers use indirect language, isn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, it's a casual way of referring to doing laundry, but it's often used as a bit of a cover or an excuse when there's maybe another motive.
Like Ross wanting to hang out with Rachel.
Exactly. He uses it to try and spend time with Rachel without making it seem like a big deal. It shows how we can use mundane topics to mask our real intentions in social interactions.
Right. Like if someone asks, why are you going out? And you say, oh, it's just a laundry thing. It's all about playing it cool.
Exactly. Downplaying it.
When Ross sees Rachel looking upset at the laundromat, he asks a very basic but important question. What's the matter?
What's the matter? Yeah, fundamental. It's a direct, common way of asking someone what's wrong.
Just showing you notice something's off.
Right. It's a go-to phrase for showing concern and initiating a conversation when someone seems troubled. It's kind of a cornerstone of showing empathy in English.
So simple, yet so important. You seem distracted. What's the matter? It's the first step in offering support.
Absolutely. Essential phrase.
Now, we've already talked about cheap shot as vocabulary.
Right. The unfair comment.
But it definitely functions as a common phrase as well, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It works seamlessly as both a noun phrase, that was a cheap shot, and as just a general way to describe an unfair or hurtful remark in conversation.
Like how Ross used it.
Exactly. It's a good example of how words can have flexible grammatical roles.
Yeah.
It's very common to hear it used just like that.
Okay, got it. Moving on, when Rachel is feeling insecure about standing up for herself, confronting the woman who took her machine,
Yeah.
Ross encourages her with the phrase, show him what you're made of, or show her what you're made of, in this case.
Show them what you're made of. That is a fantastic, empowering idiom.
It feels strong, yeah.
It does. It means to demonstrate your strength, your skill, or your true character, especially when you're challenged.
So Ross is basically telling Rachel to prove her resilience.
Exactly. Stand up for herself. It's all about revealing your inner capabilities, your grit.
It's a real confidence booster of a phrase. They doubted her skills, but she was determined to show them what she was made of.
Perfect. It's about rising to the occasion.
After Rachel successfully navigates the whole washing machine drama, Ross observes that she's on a roll.
On a roll. Yeah, another lively idiom. It describes experiencing a series of successes or just good fortune. Things are going well.
Like a winning streak.
Kind of like that, yeah. Rachel's successful laundry experience, even if it seems minor, signifies a positive streak in that moment. She's got momentum.
Right. It's a great phrase for acknowledging when things are going well for someone.
Definitely a feel-good phrase. Our team's on a roll. We've won the last 5 games. It captures that sense of momentum and success.
Yeah, you hear that a lot in sports.
You do.
Okay, finally. Chandler, in his characteristically sarcastic way, imagines someone needing to snap out of it.
Snap out of it. Right. This one's very direct.
Yeah. How so?
Well, it's sometimes a little impatient, maybe.
Yeah.
A way of telling someone to quickly stop being sad or upset or irrational and just return to a more normal state of mind.
Get a grip, basically.
Pretty much. Chandler's imagined scenario highlights its use in trying to, jolt someone out of a negative mood. But it can sometimes sound a bit abrupt.
Yeah, tone is important with that one.
Definitely, yeah.
You've been moping around all day. It's time to snap out of it. It's a pretty forceful way to tell someone to change their attitude.
It is. Use with caution, maybe.
Good advice. So there you have it, a fantastic collection of vocabulary and phrases, all taken straight from one single episode of Friends. How about we start with those cultural references? They often give the most immediate context.
Good idea. Let's kick off with Uberweiss, that East German laundry detergent Ross mentioned.
Yes. Uberweiss.
Sounds funny. Kind of foreign. But there's more to it, isn't there? Our notes say it's fictional, supposed to be super strong. From East Germany. What's the joke behind the joke?
Well, it taps right into a kind of Cold War stereotype, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this idea, maybe a bit exaggerated, that products from the Eastern Bloc were, really powerful and industrial, but maybe kind of harsh. not subtle like Western stuff.
Right. Strong, but maybe stripping the color out too.
Something like that. But here's the kicker, the thing that adds another layer. East Germany. It hadn't existed since 1990. This episode aired in 94.
Oh, so it's already out of date when he says it.
Exactly. It makes the reference kind of nostalgic or maybe deliberately over the top. It's funny because it's referencing something that was already, history. Shows how that whole East-West thing stuck around in people's minds.
Wow, okay, that adds way more depth. It's not just a random name. Okay, next one. Mr. Clean.
Ah, the mascot.
Yeah, the bald, muscular cleaning guy. Everyone kind of knows him, right?
Pretty much, yeah. A household name or face.
So when Chandler calls that guy in Central Park, Mr. Clean, the really well-dressed, neat guy, what's he really saying?
It's playing on Mr. Clean as a symbol. He's not just clean, he's like aggressively clean, almost unnaturally perfect and powerful against dirt.
Okay.
So Chandler's using it sarcastically. He's implying this guy is maybe too focused on his appearance, too perfect, almost comically meticulous. It's cultural shorthand. You see the mascot, you get the idea of intense cleanliness.
Got it. So not just you're tidy, but you're ridiculously, almost cartoonishly tidy.
Exactly. Maybe hinting at vanity, too.
Right. Okay. Then there's Superman, another huge cultural figure. What does bringing up Superman usually signal?
Well, Superman means strength, right? Invincibility, heroism. Sometimes it can imply someone thinks they're invincible, maybe a bit arrogant. So in that flashback, Chandler mocks the guy wearing Superman underwear. It's funny because you've got the symbol of ultimate power on his underwear.
It kind of grounds him immediately, takes the heroic down to the everyday.
Exactly. Deflates any potential ego right there. It's a simple, effective gag based on a universally recognized symbol.
Makes sense. Okay, now Mr. Spock. And this idea of Star Trek-style logic, it's not a direct line, but it connects to Joey wanting Monica to be, like, super rational and cold, breaking up with Angela and Bob.
Right. The implication is Spock-like.
So for anyone who maybe isn't a Trekkie, who's Spock and what's Spock like?
Spock, from the original Star Trek, he's famous for being extremely logical. He suppresses all emotion, makes decisions purely on reason. Highly intelligent, but, zero feelings involved in the process.
Okay, the logic guy.
Totally. So Spock-like logic means being purely rational, maybe to the point of seeming cold or detached, unemotional. When Joey wants Monica to handle the breakup that way, he wants her to take all the feeling out of it, just execute the task logically.
Like a mission.
Yeah, precisely. And it's amazing how Star Trek is so ingrained that just saying Spock instantly tells you no emotion, just logic.
Yeah, it's become a standard descriptor.
Right.
Okay, how about the Catwoman joke? Our notes say it's not a specific joke, but Monica's line about Angela's outfit, what the cat dragged in, has a similar feel. What's the Catwoman vibe?
Catwoman from Batman, she's all about being sleek, kind of seductive, a bit dangerous, maybe mischievous.
Stylish, but maybe trouble.
Exactly. So referencing Catwoman often brings up ideas of drama, confidence, maybe something a little edgy or unconventional. Monica's line isn't about Catwoman, but that phrase, what the cat dragged in, has a similarly sharp, negative, slightly dramatic energy.
It paints a picture, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests something messy, maybe a bit wild or unkempt, but with that same kind of dramatic flair you might associate with a character like Catwoman. Even indirect links can pull on those cultural images.
You get that immediate sense of, drama. Okay, last one for culture. Jodie's fake Italian accent, his attempt to charm Angela. What stereotype is that playing on?
Oh, that's a classic one. It leans heavily on American media stereotypes of Italian men being, incredibly passionate, romantic, very expressive with their hands, maybe a bit loud, with that very specific, often really exaggerated accent.
A lover stereotype.
Exactly. It's been a comedy staple for ages in movies and TV. The humor comes from how over-the-top Joey is, how obviously he's putting on this persona that everyone recognizes as that stereotype.
It's broad, but instantly readable. Okay, great run-through of the cultural stuff. Loads packed in there. Now let's switch over to the grammar, which is, maybe surprisingly, just as interesting.
Definitely. People often think grammar is just rules, but it's how we add all the nuance.
So first up, using modals like might, could, must for possibility or deduction, like guessing. Where do we see that?
Perfect example is back in the laundromat with Ross in the Ubervice. He says, it's not available in the U.S. It might be too powerful.
Okay, might be.
That might be is crucial. He's not stating it as a fact. He's guessing, suggesting a possibility. It shows uncertainty. It's a deduction he's making.
So it's softer than saying it is too powerful.
Much softer. It allows for, hedging. It's less direct. You use these modals all the time to express degrees of certainty.
Can you give us another quick example or two?
Sure. Like, where's Sarah? Oh, she might be stuck in traffic. It's a possible reason. Or you see someone yawn, you think, he must be tired. That's a stronger deduction, but still not a fact you know for sure.
Got it. They add that layer of
Yeah.
possibility. Okay, next. Causatives with have and get. The structure is like have or get plus an object, then a past participle. What's this for?
This is when you talk about arranging for someone else to do something for you.
Ah, like paying someone.
Often, yeah. Or
Yeah.
just instructing them. The example is Monica telling Joey he should get someone else to break up with Angela. The idea is you don't do it, you arrange for someone else to do it. The structure is implicitly get someone to do it or have something done by someone.
Okay, so it's about delegation, basically.
Exactly. It's super common. We use it constantly without thinking about the grammar term.
Like what other examples?
Like, I need to get my hair cut. Means a hairdresser will cut it. Or, we had the house painted last year. Someone else did the painting. It's sufficient for talking about services or tasks performed by others.
Right. Yeah, you hear that all the time. Okay, moving to conditionals. Type 2 specifically. That's for unreal or hypothetical situations in the present. The if plus past simple, would plus base verb thing.
Mm-hmm. The imaginary present.
How does this connect to the episode? The notes say it's kind of implied.
Yeah, it's more about the underlying feeling, especially with Ross in the laundromat. His awkwardness around Rachel kind of suggests this unspoken hypothetical. If I were smoother, or if I knew what to say, I would just talk to her easily.
Okay. It's the gap between reality and what he wishes were happening now.
Precisely. The humor often comes from that gap. Type 2 conditionals let us explore those what-if scenarios in the present moment.
Can you give us another couple of standard examples?
Sure, like the classic, if I won the lottery, I would buy a yacht. Winning is hypothetical right now. Or, if he spoke French, he would understand them. He doesn't speak French now, so it's unreal.
Got it. Imagining it different now. Okay, next. The emphatic do. Using do, does, or did just for emphasis in a positive sentence.
Right. It's like underlining the verb with your voice.
Or does that pop up?
Chandler uses it really well when he's talking to Joey about his chances with Angela and Bob simultaneously. He says, you do realize the odds of that happening are like 1,000,000,000 to 1.
Ah, you do realize.
Yeah, that do isn't needed for grammar. It's purely for emphasis. He's stressing the verb realize to make his point stronger. Like, seriously, think about this.
It adds punch. What are other ways we use it?
You might say, wow, I do like this cake, to emphasize your enjoyment. Or, she did finish the report. I saw it if someone was doubting it. It just gives extra weight to the statement.
Like a little exclamation mark on the verb. Okay, now ellipsis. This is basically leaving words out in casual speech.
Exactly. When the meaning is obvious from the context, we often drop words, especially subjects or auxiliary verbs. It makes speech faster and more fluid.
And Rachel does this in the laundromat.
Yep. When she explains why she's using Ross's machine, she says, machine broke, had to use yours.
Instead of the machine broke, I had to use yours.
Right. The and the I are just omitted because it's completely clear who and what she's talking about in that situation. Super common in informal chat.
Any other quick examples? Maybe questions?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Like instead of, are you ready? Just ready. Or instead of, do you want a coffee? Just coffee.
Totally. Hear that constantly.
Okay.
Okay, last one. Tag. Questions. The little question bits added to the end of a statement.
Mm-hmm. Like, push, isn't it?
Or does she?
What's their main job?
Usually they're for seeking confirmation or agreement, trying to check if the listener feels the same way, or just confirming information you think is true.
And this relates to Monica in the restaurant scene. Well, the dynamic implies it. When she's challenging Angela and Bob, the feeling is like she's saying, you two aren't really happy together, are you? That "are you" is the tag, turning her implied statement into a check for confirmation.
Gotcha. So how do they work rule-wise?
Generally, a positive statement gets a negative tag, and a negative statement gets a positive tag.
Okay.
So, it's cold today, isn't it? Positive statement, negative tag, and he doesn't live here, does he? Negative statement, positive tag. They keep the conversation flowing and invite a response.
It's really amazing, isn't it? How much is going on beneath the surface of just, a regular conversation in a sitcom.
It really is. We've covered quite a bit, those mid-90s cultural markers, the stereotypes, the icons.
Yeah, and then all these grammar points that make the dialogue feel natural, but also carry specific meanings. Possibility, delegation, hypotheticals, emphasis.
Exactly. And for you listening, recognizing this stuff, it really does enrich the experience, doesn't it? You get the jokes on a deeper level, and you maybe notice more about how English works in everyday life.
Right.
Here's a synopsis of Friends, Season 1, Episode 5, the one with the East German laundry detergent. Ross wants to do his laundry for the first time alone, but he ends up going with Rachel to a laundromat. Rachel is nervous too. It's her first time doing laundry without help. With Monica's guidance and a little teamwork, Ross and Rachel bond, and by the end, they even share their first kiss. Meanwhile, Joey is trying to break up his ex-girlfriend Angela and her new boyfriend Bob, hoping to get back with her. He ropes Monica into a double date under false pretenses, but his plan backfires hilariously. At the same time, Chandler tries to quit smoking. Phoebe and Monica help him stay strong using gum, distraction, and a bit of shaming, but it's a tough battle.
Thanks for watching. I hope this lesson helped you learn something new and made your friends' experience even more fun. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your fellow English learners. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new episode breakdown. See you in the next one.